After placing their orders, a group of police officers and veterans were just about to enjoy their coffee at a local Starbucks. However, before they could even sit down, an employee approached and requested that they leave because of a customer's strange complaint. At a Starbucks location in Tempe, Arizona, feelings are being honored over facts and logic. Incredibly, the employees of this coffee shop believe that feeling offended at the moment validates stripping others of their rights. Disturbingly, they have no idea how dangerous this belief is. Prior to their shift beginning, a group of police officers arrived at the Starbucks coffee shop. As they collected the brew, they were unexpectedly approached by a barista who appeared to have a concerned look about them. It was then that they realized they were no longer welcome. According to Fox News, a group of 5 police officers, several of whom are veterans, were kicked out of a Starbucks cafe because a customer complained that they did not feel safe with cops present. Unbelievably, the officers were given 2 options by the barista: either move out of the line of sight of the offended customer or leave. Although the officers had just purchased their drinks and were standing near the front of the store, they chose to walk out, feeling unwelcome and demonized. Disturbingly, the incident once again showcases that ostracizing and discriminating against police officers have become socially acceptable in recent years. President of the police union Sergeant Robert Ferraro confirmed that such incidents have been occurring more often as anti-police propaganda seeps into the mainstream media. Unfortunately, individuals believe they should be able to exclude officers from society, but also hypocritically expect them to risk their lives and come to their rescue at the drop of a hat. It's become accepted to not trust or to see police and think that we're not here to serve you. And again, it goes back to, we take great pride of the level of customer service we provide to citizens, and to be looked at as feeling unsafe when you have law enforcement around you is somewhat perplexing to me, Ferraro told the station in a phone interview. Unsurprisingly, a huge backlash ensued once the public learned of the treatment of the police officers. It was only after suffering nationwide outrage that Starbucks decided to address the issue. "We have a deep respect for the Tempe police and their service to the community," spokesman Reggie Borges said. "We've reached out to the Tempe Police Department and Tempe Officers Association to better understand what happened and apologize. We want everyone in our stores to feel welcomed, and the incident described is not indicative of what we want any of our customers to feel in our stores." Borges explained that Starbucks wants everyone to feel comfortable in their stores, including officers of the law. However, he didn't say whether the employee in question would face disciplinary measures or re-education. In 2018, Starbucks closed nearly 8,000 locations to conduct racial bias training after 2 black customers accused a manager of racism. Starbucks confirmed that Executive VP and President of U.S. Retail Rossann Williams would meet with Tempe Chief of Police Sylvia Moyer to discuss the incident. Williams agreed that the employee was wrong to ask the officers to move or leave and apologized for the handling of the situation. When those officers entered the store and a customer raised a concern over their presence, they should have been welcomed and treated with dignity and the utmost respect by our partners' employees. Instead, they were made to feel unwelcome and disrespected, which is completely unacceptable, Williams wrote. The Tempe Police Department is currently working with Starbucks to remedy the situation. However, it seems as though the coffee corporation didn't respond until they saw the major backlash that arose, leaving some to feel as though they're only trying to do damage control. Police officers are constantly being berated and ostracized, all while still risking their lives to serve their community. Sadly, the misguided and irrational feelings of a certain few are being allowed mob rule, forcing the people behind the uniforms to be cast as the enemy. The incident at the Tempe Starbucks highlights a broader cultural shift where feelings are increasingly prioritized over respect for law enforcement. For many, the actions of the barista and the handling of the situation are emblematic of a growing divide between communities and the officers sworn to protect them. This tension is fueled by both anti-police rhetoric in the media and the actions of individuals who paint all officers with the same broad brush, ignoring the diversity and dedication within police forces. Critics argue that such incidents undermine the foundational principle of mutual respect necessary for communities to function. Law enforcement officers are trained to step into dangerous situations, often putting their lives on the line for people they've never met. Yet, incidents like this one leave officers questioning their role in a society that increasingly seems to reject their presence. Supporters of law enforcement were quick to defend the officers, pointing out the absurdity of expecting police to leave a public space simply because one individual felt uncomfortable. They argued that this sets a dangerous precedent where personal grievances can trump public safety and the broader societal need for law and order. Others warned that alienating officers in this way could discourage them from engaging with their communities, leading to a breakdown in trust and cooperation. Conversely, those siding with the customer suggested that the reaction stems from a legitimate fear rooted in past negative interactions with law enforcement. While this perspective seeks to validate the customer's feelings, critics counter that it unfairly penalizes all officers for the actions of a few and promotes an environment where biases go unchecked. The incident also raises questions about corporate policies and training. While Starbucks has positioned itself as a socially conscious company, many have criticized its approach as reactionary rather than proactive. The 2018 racial bias training, while well-intentioned, is now being scrutinized as insufficient to address incidents like the one in Tempe. Some suggest that the company needs to implement broader training that includes understanding the role of law enforcement in communities. Law enforcement supporters are also using this moment to call for a deeper public discussion about the challenges officers face. They argue that most officers enter the field to serve their communities and that their dedication often goes unrecognized. For these supporters, the Starbucks incident is more than an isolated event. It's a symptom of a growing disrespect for authority that could have serious long-term consequences. Social media played a crucial role in amplifying the public response to the incident. Within hours, the hashtag #boycott Starbucks began trending, with users sharing their outrage and personal stories of positive encounters with police officers. Some local businesses even used the opportunity to invite officers to their establishments, emphasizing that they would always be welcome. In the days following the incident, community members rallied in support of the Tempe Police Department. Residents brought coffee and snacks to the department as a gesture of solidarity, reminding officers that the actions of one individual do not reflect the views of the entire community. This outpouring of support underscored the importance of fostering positive relationships between law enforcement and the people they serve. The Tempe Starbucks debacle serves as a cautionary tale for companies navigating the intersection of business, social issues, and public perception. In an era where every decision can be scrutinized online, corporations must find a way to balance inclusivity with fairness and respect for all customers, including those in uniform. Ultimately, the Tempe Police Department and Starbucks have an opportunity to turn this situation into a learning experience. By fostering dialogue and taking tangible steps toward reconciliation, they can set an example for other communities facing similar challenges. Whether this will lead to meaningful change remains to be seen, but it's clear that both entities have a vested interest in repairing the relationship and rebuilding trust. For the officers involved, the incident serves as a sobering reminder of the complexities of their role in modern society. While they remain committed to their duties, moments like these highlight the need for greater understanding and appreciation of the sacrifices they make. Whether on patrol or grabbing a cup of coffee, these individuals deserve the same respect and dignity as anyone else. As the public discourse continues, many are urging for a broader societal shift in how law enforcement is perceived and treated. Advocates emphasize that fostering mutual respect between police officers and citizens is essential for maintaining peace and safety. They argue that demonizing an entire profession based on isolated incidents erodes trust and jeopardizes the ability of officers to effectively do their jobs. Without trust, the critical relationship between communities and law enforcement risks further deterioration. Moreover, this incident shines a light on the importance of addressing misunderstandings and fears surrounding law enforcement through education and open dialogue. Community outreach programs, police-led workshops, and public forums could provide opportunities for both officers and citizens to share their perspectives and experiences. By breaking down stereotypes and fostering empathy, incidents like the one at Starbucks might become less common, paving the way for stronger, more cooperative relationships. Looking ahead, the Tempe Starbucks incident underscores the importance of bridging divides and promoting accountability on all sides. Whether through corporate policy changes, community discussions, or increased transparency in law enforcement, it's clear that fostering mutual understanding is key to preventing such situations in the future. For communities to thrive, every individual, whether a police officer or a concerned citizen, must feel respected and valued. The hope is that incidents like this will serve as a catalyst for positive change, encouraging society to strike a balance between acknowledging personal feelings and upholding fairness and mutual respect.